Hey, hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Jimmy Fung, and in today's video, we have an interview with a client. His name is called Spencer. He's actually from Vancouver, Canada. I'm from Toronto, Canada, but I didn't know him previously. And essentially, what happened was he was able to build his own lead generation agency and go from zero to $11,000 in the first 14 days of May. Now, I know today I'm uploading this video, it is June 1st. But I actually had this conversation with Spencer around 2 to 3 weeks ago. This happened in May, from May 1st to May 14th, where he was able to make $11,000, which is absolutely insane, right? So essentially, he on pace to have a $20,000 month. This was the first time he made money with his own lead generation agency. And in today's video, it's a little bit of an interview where I ask him some questions about how he was able to do that, some of his key insights, his key lessons from him doing that, and why he personally thinks that he was able to get this level of success, sign this amount of clients, make this amount of money, while a lot of other people who try online businesses, whether that's a lead generation agency or something else, why 90% of those people actually don't make any money. So Spencer gave some really good answers. He had some really unique insights, and watch through this video and hope you will find it valuable. All right, awesome, Spencer. So I guess my first question for you is if you could just tell kind of like the audience a bit about yourself, maybe your background, where you live, all of that stuff. What does that look like, man?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Spencer. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I've been in the world of digital marketing for the past 10 years, starting in the private and public equity space. So working with a lot of publicly traded companies, various industries there, doing things like lead gen, doing things like ad campaigns, that kind of thing. And then quickly sort of realized running service-based businesses myself that the main bottleneck, at least for us, was keeping meat on the table, always sort of having fresh leads, always sort of having, names for our client or our sales team rather to be following up with and to ultimately be closing. And now that I sort of have discovered a system like this that's worked for me in my past businesses, I really want to help my clients kind of moving forward with sort of the same thing and solving those problems.
Absolutely, man. That's a great description. So basically, I guess, obviously, we've been working together for a little while now, for the last few months, to build out your lead generation agency. I guess just right off the bat, what has been your results, or how much money have you made? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, totally. So I started probably, I would say, 2 months ago. As far as clients, I have 3 clients today. So I started only really client acquisition earlier this month. So about 17 days into the month, really focus on delivery now, really focus on case studies. I think what you did really well, Jimmy, was sort of lay out a structure that is very, very clear and concise to follow. And then really having that sort of support in the back end to fill in any gaps really helps you sort of make progress. And if you're somebody that, can follow instructions quite well, it's quite easy to sort of get up and running. And then from there, it's really just sort of testing and learning and going from there.
For sure, absolutely. And I guess in terms of, obviously you're signing clients now. In terms of revenue, how much money have you made so far this, even this month?
Yeah, for sure. So as far as setup costs, so things are split into 2 ways. Number one is setup, and then number two, a performance base. And so that actually happens when you start to get your clients' results. From a setup perspective, out of my 3 clients, I'm at about 11,000. And then on the performance base, obviously time will tell, but the goal is to scale up from here and see how far we can go.
For sure, man. Yeah, 11K. I know when you first sent me the message that you signed your 3rd client, I know it was like halfway through the month, and I know you're kind of pushing hard to try to get to 20K by the end of this month. So I guess, Spencer, my question is, obviously, like any other business, there's always a lot of people who go into it, they're drawn into it, whatever the case is, and it doesn't always work out. A lot of people try it. The vast majority of businesses fail, right? What would you say are some of the largest factors or the largest reasons that allowed you to achieve, what you have achieved so far, sign clients, make the money that you had so far, versus some of the other things that maybe you've seen other people do who just don't see that level of results?
Yeah, I think great. That's a great question. Number one, for me, at least personally, I definitely had, I'm going to say, a little bit of struggle at the start. Some of my initial outreach methods and some of my initial activities were not necessarily giving me the best result instantaneously from day one, week one, that kind of thing. But I think the biggest lesson, at least for me, is if you can test and learn and be willing to do that over and over and over again, you're eventually going to see success. And the people that don't are really just the people that stop testing, which means you stop failing, which means you stop learning. And so at the end of the day, if you can keep up that process and just really know that, eventually with enough failures or enough tests, enough lessons, essentially, you'll really get that reward and get that result that you're looking for. And further to that, I'm going to just talk about the concept, I think, of compounding, right? If you see
Yeah.
results as soon as you see that first client, it gives you that sort of boost and that momentum to go, sweet, I'm going to go chase the second. You get the second, then you go for the third. And so if you sort of break it down step by step, rather than going, how am I going to scale to 20K or how am I going to scale to 50K, and really take it sort of step by step, you're going to be a lot better long term.
Yeah, for sure. I think I really like the aspect because kind of what you're talking about too, in the beginning of your answer was like the resiliency factor, where a lot of people they go into something and the second they run into an issue, they're like fuck, and then they kind of just throw in the towel and kind of give up, right? So I think resiliency is a massive thing, and then the other thing is compounding. It's more like I think it gives you confidence to continue doing it because other people are seeing results, they're making money, whatever the case is, and until it works for you, you still have that question mark of what does this look like? Like, it works, you just don't know if it'll work for you, right? And I think moving when you have that momentum is a really massive thing in business or any business. So I absolutely love that answer, man. I guess my next question is before working with me to build out your lead gen agency, this consulting program, you probably had some doubts, right? There's obviously a lot of people online saying a bunch of different things. Oh, I can make you rich. I can make you $1 million, this and that, right? What would you say were some of those doubts that you may have had before working with me?
Yeah, I mean, as far as doubts, I think, look, when it comes to the online course world and as far as information online, there's always two types of people. There's the people that practice what they preach, and then there's the people that just talk and don't
Yeah.
actually follow through with their words. And I think that was a big part at the start, of doubts of looking around with different people. Is I wanted to make sure that, look, if I'm going to go down this path and sort of relearn something new in the business world quickly, I wanted to make sure that the person giving me the information had actually had the success, had built one of these lead generation agencies himself. And that's definitely the case with Jimmy here, providing that sort of actionable insight based on experience. And that was sort of my number one doubt, is really just finding someone. It's like school, right? If you go to university, you probably don't want to, or college, you probably don't want to learn from an economics professor who's never invested in something. And it's just sort of that direct experience. As far as doubts, that was a main hesitancy for me. I'm sure other people, it can be things like time, or what makes me different, or how could I do it myself. And I think a big piece to that is look at your interests. A big thing for me was, if you're actually going to be committed to a business and really enjoy it, even if you're serving, for example, a specific industry of client, make sure that it's maybe an industry that you enjoy or that you've worked
Yeah.
in before, or companies that you actually want to maybe learn more about. And that'll sort of help, overcome any doubts, and also sort of help keep you driven to continuously grow and move forward.
Love that answer, Spencer. Love that answer, man. And I completely agree with you, right? There's a lot of people online who just say all these things, and you just kind of really need to do your research and verify and double check and stuff like that. So I guess the final question I have, man, is what would you say is your honest review of just working with me, right? Like, what does that honestly look like?
Yeah, for sure. Honest review. I think as far as the material goes, I'm probably going to give you a 9 out of 10. I definitely think there's some small little tweaks here and there, but obviously things are always consistently iterating and improving. But what I love the most is your ability to concisely show a concept, have people understand it, but then also have that follow up on the back end with support, whether it's things like one-on-one calls, whether it's sort of the community element, and really sort of tie in any questions after somebody do that initial learning. So course overall, super happy with. Your knowledge is extent, and you've actually walked the walk rather than just talk the talk. So really appreciate that, and looking forward to see where we can go from here.
For sure, Spencer. Definitely got to move that into a 10, right? Continue building it and making it even better.
Exactly.
Continuous improvement. But that's pretty much it, Spencer. Thank you for your time. Love the success that you're having, and appreciate you today, man. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, Jimmy.
All right, thank you, Spencer. See ya, man.
Take care.
All right, cool. So hopefully you found this video today, this interview with Spencer, to be valuable. If you are looking to build your own lead generation agency and you want to get it to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days, then in the description below, I included a link to my calendar. Set up a time and see if we can help you, right? Essentially, I have a consulting program where pretty much I help you build your own lead generation agency and get it to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days. But it is not a course. There is a course aspect, which are video modules explaining the specific things you need to do. But more specifically, it is a consulting program where the difference is I work with you. We take one-on-one calls. I help you pick your niche. I help you craft your offer. I write your cold emails for you. I put together your VSL, review your sales calls. I do all of those things. So if you are interested in working with me to build your own lead generation agency to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days, then go to the description, click that link, set up a time, and we'll chat to see how we can help you. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Hope you found it valuable. If you did, make sure you drop me a like. Make sure you drop me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.